break my bed. Alright guys, welcome to today's Rat Potential YouTube video. Apologize for blowing out my mic doing donuts in the yard in the rotary truck, but figure we gotta move it to get the silver car out, so we might as well tear it up. The only thing that's mildly worrisome if you're gonna do any hot rodding with your rotary truck is that you need to keep the bed of the truck empty, for the reason that it's a single wall bed, which means if you dent the inside of the bed, it dents the outside out. So for example, this is my Chevy. If I dent this right here, this panel, there's a hollow spot before you see the outside. So on the rotary truck, if you dent the inside of the bed, it dents straight out to the outside, which is no bueno. So now that that's fired up, we're going to come up here and assess what it's going to take to, one, I just need to move the mouse, but two, I think I'm going to fire my leaf blower up, get all these leaves out of here, and we're going to be sticking a clutch in the old mouse RX7. So, this is my very first rotary car. It's rusty, Southern Indiana car. I daily drove it for a couple years in the winter, in the salt, in the snow, and you know, they just don't last. And the guy that painted it before me did a really bad job, and it's full of putty. So, for example, this is like the prime thing. Listen, nice and hollow, full of putty. So, Charles is pulling up right now, and he's going to help me. We're going to take the trans out and put a new clutch disc in, which is just going to be an OEM stock one. And hopefully this Bridgeport with that hefty pressure plate doesn't just shred the clutch, so it'll at least be drivable and streetable and stuff, and then I can get a bigger clutch whenever I have the time and it's not Christmas and working on this other race car, and just get it to where it's good enough, and then we'll finish this one up and then we'll do some upgrades. I'd like to put a RX8 transmission in this, so for now we're kind of just holding off until I can do that. But anyways, let's leaf blow this stuff out. What's up guys? So we've got everything disconnected, and the transmission doesn't want to just, like, you know, come off. Charles is grabbing some assorted prying materials, and we're going to have to pry this off the back of the engine. It's literally stuck. So I'll put you all into the car so you can watch this thing fall and destroy everything that's underneath it, including my face, and hopefully we'll get it out. This is the disc we're going to put in there. So it's slightly wore, but I think she'll ride. like Nick's car.
Yeah, I was going to say Nick's car.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe I blew up my pilot bearing.
Oh.
Let me go pry at the top and see if that helps.
Okay.
See if we're like
opposing forces.
Yeah.
All right. Pickle fork.
There it went.
All right.
Woo.
Pickle fork to the rescue.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
let me get the jack.
Yeah, can you hold it up?
Yeah.
You got the whole thing?
Yeah.
All right, jack's coming down.
All right.
Okay, jack's coming backwards.
All right. Gotta come this way to get past the exhaust.
Yeah.
On my hand. That's all right.
You good?
Yeah.
All
Good.
right.
Done.
Ha!
You bitch you.
Right.
Yep.
What? Blew up the pilot bearing?
Pilot bearing stuck on the input shaft.
Gotta love it. All right, well. Done messed up, AA Ron. Hey, that throw-up bearing looks good. Too bad the race car didn't have one of those. I guess I'll get my slide hammer and slide hammer that off, and hopefully the input shaft's not bad.
It'll polish up. We'll grind it,
Be
we'll buff it
good enough for this car.
buff out.
So that means my clutch is probably okay. We probably ought to pull that off there.
Need to, because it's probably got some
And this is the sight right here.
Yeah.
That's what's left of it.
Dang.
That could use a little,
Polishing.
just some help.
Yeah. A little buffing.
Yeah, look at this. We broke it.
Yep.
We got a new pilot bearing in. You got that little tool? Let me see that. So, the front cover oil line, this is the fitting that goes in the block. It was just the right size, barely. We had to grind it down to fit inside the pilot bearing, so we could use this to hammer the pilot bearing into the back of the engine without the pilot bearing going sideways. So now we gotta like not lose this particular one, because this is like my pilot bearing tool now.
Well, I have two at the house, so the proper tools.
So here's a closer look at this input shaft, if y'all can see it. It's got some marks on it now. So we'll clean that up with some sandpaper and stick it back in there. Keep running it. Clutch works. It'll idle down a little bit, then once it warms back up, it'll start to come back up. I would say I tried it by hand, it works. Good to go. How about that? Alright, well, we're going to take this thing off the jack stands real quick. Clean up. fuel slosh issues right there. Hear that? I think I've got a I bet you one of my Venturis came loose. And by golly, we pissed it off. Hey, yo. Alright. So y'all were there sideways. Focus. You can't really see it. But there is a really small piece. There's a real small piece of something in my jet. Must have sucked up some dirt. I'll see if I can't get it out with a pick real quick. Oh, there's some junk in there. So you probably can't see it, but I got some junk in my main jet. Or my pilot jet. Alright, so there was a chunk of something in my idle jet right here. In the end, couldn't exactly get it to where you guys could see it, but now that we've got that out of there, okay, tighten that back down. Let's check this other one. Jack cap back on. I'll say this, don't expect to own a carbureted car and not know a little bit about how to adjust some things and tinker. Alright. Fixed. How about that? Settle right back in. Good to go. Good to go. Alright, we're going to go for a quick rip down the street. And that'll be... I'm going to skip third because whenever I'd reamed it into third right there, it had gotten stuck. Alright, so here's the ultimate test. Can it do a burnout? I'd say that was a pretty good burnout right there. Alright guys, so that is fixing the clutch in the silver car. A few things that happened to let you know. And I say fix the clutch, but we didn't actually have to fix the clutch. So, the pilot bearing was seized to the input shaft of the transmission. When we pried the transmission off the back of the engine, it came off on the transmission, came out of the engine on the transmission. So, what we ended up having to do, and I don't think I got footage of it, but I took a grinding stone, a cylindrical grinding stone, put it on my drill, and ran that on the input shaft of the transmission in order to smooth off, because the input shaft is like tool steel, the pieces that were on it that were preventing the new pilot bearing from going on were parts from the old pilot bearing. So I had to clean off and scrape off and get all that crap off of the input shaft first before we could put it back together. Otherwise it would happen again. So the reason the clutch felt like it just quit is because what actually happened is when that's seized together, when you push the clutch in, it doesn't actually do anything. So the engine's turning the input shaft and the clutch is supposed to disconnect that. So, stoked the mouse is back. Also stoked that I don't have to buy another clutch for it. Also super stoked that we can still keep the awesome 6-puck unsprung race clutch that I have in it, because that means I can go back to doing second gear burnouts, and that's what you gotta have. So, and I don't really didn't want to spend a ton of money on it, because I would rather spend my money on an RX7 transmission. I have a lightweight flywheel, counterweight, the whole deal to put on this motor. I'm gonna go ahead, get me an RX7 trans, get a drive shaft made, and put that in the car, because that is what we do at the Rad Potential YouTube channel. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you really like old rotary cars. And, yeah, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Keep it rad.